Good morning, everybody. I'll do a little update. I just uploaded some videos that I normally upload at night. I actually had them. I went to the coffee shop last night because my internet was out for a few hours, and I managed to get the internet on, and I started a little late. And then, as I was uploading to these different cloud sites, OneDrive and Google Drive, then a thing popped up on the computer and said, of course, you have updates. Do you want to postpone them? Yes, postpone the updates because it disconnects everything. So I hit postpone, and it postponed it for like 5 minutes. So then when I went to they were uploading, I went to share them last night. Of course, it takes an hour, and so I just left it alone. I thought, okay, that's fine. You know, yesterday, when I was at the coffee shop last night, I did a little video uh, explaining I was up there and these are just talks. And I noticed there's a homeless guy's he's not been here for a while, but I noticed he's back. They call him Tweaking Lance. His name is Lance. And he looks the part, and he was under the underpass the other day, just kind of like acting crazy. And he does a walk and he said to one of my friends once, he was just practicing. But he looks the part. He looks crazy and all. That's fine. But he was up when I went out of the coffee shop to smoke. He was up there. I seen him in the parking lot. And when I see him like acting crazy, I don't give the same response. I usually say, hey, what's up, Lance? But they don't like that because there's a few like that. None of my friends you see on video are this way. But if they're putting up that game, and I've got a couple people I know that are like that, and sometimes they'll say, hi, and he said, not now. Why he does it, I have no idea, disability or whatever. But then he made a comment, and I just kind of looked at him like I don't play it. But he was in front of the coffee shop, and I would go out there and smoke, the one in Flower Bluff. And they got signs up, no soliciting, because I guess a lot of the homeless, being it's right here where there is a big population, they solicit from the coffee waves customers. And as soon as the guy came out, Tweaking Lance said, you got a few dollars I can have? And the guy said, no, but I'll buy you something to eat. And so then Lance went in. The guy bought him something nicely and then left. And he was inside, and I was inside by then. And then he was acting up a little bit, and I could see how everybody was uncomfortable, and he looks very rough, like on the street. And I was talking to a friend yesterday. One of my other friends mentioned, man, John just paid $2,500 for his property taxes, which I did. I told my friend a couple of weeks ago, I said I only paid like half of it, and my wife paid the other half. And my other friend, and I won't give names, but he pays $25 a year. His net worth is much more than mine. The property he has is probably about, I don't know, maybe $500,000. And I knew how, that he does that. He's got the disability thing. And my other friend was like, why don't you do it, John? I said, well, I'm sick, and I paid a lot of money. Throughout my life at the fire department, I paid both fire department retirement and Social Security. I paid a lot into Social Security. And I would like the benefit of being able to not have to pay that property tax and all. I asked one time, I said, if you have like cirrhosis or lung cancer, any of that, but say I think it's like, well, you got to be like ready to die. There's a death benefit, but you got to be in the hospital. I just asked that once, okay? I did. What a joke. Here in Corpus Christi, I have many friends that are drug addicts, and they get checks, and all the checks, maybe they sit in front of the Social Security here, and as soon as they show the letter of approval out front, they show it to the dealer, Okay, your money's coming and we know it's coming. Okay, we'll spot you half. It's such a joke. It's such a joke. And many of these people, I'm not condemning my friends, but many of them have never worked a single day in their life. And some people have paid, I paid a lot of money. They used to send me the things. I paid a whole lot of money into it, equal to my retirement, which was like 200 and something thousand into your farmer's retirement. They took the same amount out. You know, my wife almost died about 6 years ago. She had blood clots in her lungs. And she almost died. Huge hospital bill for that week or 10 days, 50, 60,000. And my daughter's with problems, drug problems, that we pay cash for methadone. I said, well, isn't there some type of program that if people are on the methadone, no, you got to pay cash for everything. And then I listened to the mayor, and I'm not condemning our mayor, but his name is Joe McComb. And yesterday or the day before, when I was listening to a morning talk show called Jim Lago, the mayor was on. The talk show's probably on now. I'll probably listen to it a little bit. And he said that recently they've been covering a case of a lady that lost her home because of Hurricane Harvey. And it's either in Port Aransas or Aransas Pass, which are two little towns right around here. And she has, I don't know if she's got 6 kids or 4 kids, but she's on her own with her kids. And she moved into her a trailer with her father or something, but there's too many people in the trailer. And she actually lost her property during the hurricane and was waiting to get another trailer or something to live in. And FEMA had said they had to look at one. Now this is many months now since the hurricane. And then they told her, the kids picked, oh, this is nice, Mom. They had a bedroom. You know, this is emergency. And then FEMA contacted them and said, you didn't qualify. You did not qualify because you're still on the street. You're able to live. You're able to be homeless. There's 10 cities. And then I heard the mayor, and this is not to condemn Mr. McComb, but he started what's called a mayor's fund, which was just for relief because FEMA has dropped the ball trying to help people. And the mayor's fund, I think, is primarily for Corpus Christi residents. And it's a big fund. And what he said was, he probably slipped and shouldn't have said it, but there were people that applied for aid. They had insurance for their properties. The damage I had, look, if you looked at the whole roof, you're talking $18,000 worth of damage I had. But a whole section here, and I patched it with roll roof and all. That's fine. I don't have insurance because it's too high with my taxes here. But Mr. McComb said there were people, I guess, with $1 million properties. And the insurance covered all the damage they had. They had people do it, contractors. He said, and then they applied to that fund to pay the deductible. And they paid those people's insurance deductible. But you had people living on the street with kids that they don't qualify for aid. But yet the fund that the mayor spoke about paid the deductible. It didn't make sense to me. Now, when I had the damage and I did videos during Hurricane Harvey, I did not want to. I risked it. I had dropped my insurance on this property when I paid it off when I retired in 2008. And I was not going to apply for FEMA because in my mind, that's just for an emergency. But then the local FEMA representatives were on our local media and basically said, well, some people are faking it that they don't have homeowners coverage. They said if you had no coverage for real, FEMA's going to pay for your damage. Because we had some interior damage rain come in. Because they said that, because they misrepresented, that's when I applied. I said, look, you guys, and the FEMA came out. I said, I don't expect you to cover this. I see FEMA as an emergency then, not as people that don't have home insurance. I don't see them as filling that need. That's why people have insurance, and if you do like me and you don't have it, you take the risk. But because they represented themselves on the media, I told the lady, I said, that's why I called you. I said, it seemed like, oh yes, this is your right, and all fine. And they saw the damage. I said, and I also replaced it. They said, oh, you didn't qualify. I didn't mind not qualifying. I have no insurance. I didn't mind that. But then I realized people are getting their deductibles paid. Not only and so that plays on me. It plays on me that some of us who have worked our whole lives, many of my conservative friends and liberal friends, you pump so much into that Social Security. And I could show you case after case after case after case after case. Check, check, check. Drugs, drugs, drugs. Meth, meth, meth. Non-stop. Non-stop in this community. Non-stop. Would you qualify if you had cirrhosis or lung cancer? Well, you have to actually be in a bed doing nothing on treatment, and you got to have maybe a month left, and there's a terminal. What a joke for people that paid maybe $250,000, and people that paid zero have collected throughout their lives $500,000. What an unevenness we have in our society. And that was just a question. I don't feel well, but I'm not getting checked. I'm not getting diagnoses for things. Because I don't want to get sidetracked. 2 hours of internet down is like, oh no. I believe there's scripture that says, bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all of his benefits, who forgives all of your iniquities and heals all of your diseases. And I believe that. I believe that. So I'll do this little update because that played on my mind. We still have the tragedy. I did not check the most recent news. And I don't want to do the scandal things that are going on. There's going to be political arguments made about gun violence because of the tragic shooting again in Florida. CNN did play, I saw a clip from one of the grieving mothers who kind of blames Trump and the Republicans, and she has every right to say, and she basically said we have to do something. Sadly, this boy who committed this horrendous act, I think he's a 19-year-old boy, and went into his high school where he was expelled. But when his father died, then his mother died like within the last year or so, and he moved in to another student's home. And this boy brought his guns with him. He legally owned these guns from what I understand, and had a safe in the home where he was staying. And then there was a lawyer now representing the family that took this boy in after his mom died. And we in a society have a tendency, when something happens, we want to maybe go after somebody besides the kid. I don't think it would be right to go after the family that took this kid in, because they were already asking questions on the media that why did they allow him to keep his gun in the safe. That's what the lawyer was saying for the family that took care of the boy. They said, well, it was his property, and so now this family is going to be under, unless there's a law broken, like if this boy had illegal weapons and the family knew that he had illegal weapons and then the family permitted that, that would be different. But I don't know if we should begin going after, I don't know the family that took this young boy in, that committed it. But obviously this kid was on his own and he did a terrible thing. But if people maybe took this kid in because nobody else wanted to help this kid, I don't think we should place the blame at the feet of that family. So, I just figured I'd let you know. Because one of my friends asked, he mentioned to someone, he said, John just paid $2,500 cash. It was $24, I reminded him. And someone else said, man, I pay like $15. very, very, very expensive property. And I don't understand all the money I put into that system for all those years. So, man, I'd like to get that benefit of not, just give me the text, but no. You paid. The system works if you pay zero, they'll pay a lot. Just for drug money. I guarantee you that. That's how it's operating in this community, at least. I'd say 90-something% of all the disability money is right to the meth, heroin, other things. And you say, well, we as a society are trying to help people with, then why do we pay cash to help a family member? Cash for the methadone program. Isn't there a way that if you're saying all that money that I pay a tremendous amount of taxes, tremendous amount of investment into it, isn't there a way that all that money, some of it I can use some of what I invested to at least help with the methadone program that most people don't pay cash. No, you got to pay cash. So this is just an update. We pray for healing for everybody. Pray for healing for everybody. And make no mistake about it. When Mr. Trump, the last few weeks, said we might put a little criteria on people that are on disability, maybe we're going to make them work. Both the local media and the national media came out and said, basically, the reason these people are on disability is because they cannot work. And that's just not true. That is just not true. The majority of it in this community is for meth, heroin, and drugs. And many of the people that I know that are getting them, some have died already, they do work. And all the money they're making on the other thing, that's under the table. But the media, even the local media, they will hit back at you if you say, wait a minute, there's something wrong in this society, because that's their narrative. Okay, let me end this and upload. God bless everybody.